Hey everyone, welcome to my podcast where my thoughts lead to big conversations. So grab a snack, lie down on your couch, and get yourself comfortable from wherever you are right now because today's topic is about consumption. More specifically, I will talk about the role of consumption in my daily life, and I will be touching on two specific aspects, which are food and shopping. So I'm a university student and I have to attend this one class once a week. Our class would have discussions about all sorts of things. All of them highlight one thing, consumption, which basically is what the class unit is all about. By the time class ended, it led me to question myself how much of our lives revolve around what we buy, watch, and eat, and why do we consume them? What influences us to consume things? First off, let's start with food. Everyone consumes food, whether it's because of hunger or for pleasure. We all need food because it is how we survive. I would say I am open minded to eat any sort of cuisines, be it cultural food, Chinese food, Western food, food from the local night stalls, or food from a buffet restaurant. As long as they are delicious and edible, I am always up for it. Personally, I am the kind of person who likes to buy my food from a cheap restaurant and that I always go to, or other restaurants that have similar vibes. In other words, I like to dine out. Even though there are a whole lot more places to go and even new trendy cafes to visit, somehow I always end up going to the same place again and again. This also goes the same for my family. Let me give you an example. Every Sunday, after church, my family and I would always eat at this local kopitiam, which by the way, it means coffee shop here in Malaysia. We call that kopitiam place as Madam Sia after its owner, even though it's not its actual name. The name became so ingrained in our vocabulary that we've forgotten the actual name. Visually, the kopitiam is just a normal local coffee shop that is very small and located at the end of the block. I wouldn't say that it looks aesthetically pleasing as this generation calls it nowadays. There is not a lot of variety of food either because there are only 3 stalls that sell different types of noodle dishes. However, these did not matter to me at all. Rather than thinking that food is solely for the aesthetic or the look of it, I see food as more than just consuming. It is part of communication, just as Conroy suggested in his readings. It is also because of the social experience of dining out, where I get to spend time with my family and friends. And according to Marimutu and Hassan's book, it is what all Malaysian households do at least once a week. Occasionally, I also believe that my food consuming behaviors are partly influenced by society. We live in a society where everyone is trying to catch up on new trends, things that may perceive them as someone with a good reputation because they want to show off to people that they have good taste. The taste term here was introduced by Bourdieu, which distinguishes taste from their classes. Good taste for the upper class, as well as the middle brow taste for the middle class and the popular taste for the working class. Anyway, returning to the topic of food, how does this play a part in the type of food we consume? Does it actually matter? Well, after learning about it, apparently it still does. That's because food has always been used to differentiate type of classes. Let me use the Madam Sia Kopitiam example again. Usually when Malaysians think of Kopitiam, and I am specifically referring to the high-end ones here, they think that kopitiam is for the lower class or the working class because of its affordable dishes and the condition of the place. Personally, I go to kopitiam or similar places because of the way the food there are delicious and are mostly homemade dishes. This is due to their traditional expertise, as referred by Isabelle Desollier, because the recipes are inherited through generations of experience, making the food simple but authentic in taste. Having said all of this, I realized that I associate more to the middle brow taste. Plus, I have mentioned earlier that I am open-minded to try new food, no matter which class they come from. This is what Bourdieu refers to as eclecticism, which is the willingness to recognize and appreciate the different forms of taste. Upon reflecting on my food choices and food consuming behaviors, I realized that they are heavily influenced by culture, often by my upbringing from my family and social settings. Now let's talk shopping. My shopping behaviors vary depending on the situation and my needs. Usually the mall is the best place to go to for shopping because it has almost everything I need. There's a grocery store, a drugstore, a fashion store, makeup store, a food court, and even a theater. Personally, I do not think that I'm a shopaholic. However, there is always something that influences me to go to the mall. In 2005, Dallin J. Timothy introduced a few terms for the type of mall shoppers in his readings. There are times when I buy things that I think I need, things that I already plan to buy before heading to the mall, which Timothy refers to as a light consumer. Sometimes I also think I'm a leisure shopper, where I would hang out at the mall during weekends, either by myself or with my friends. Usually it is either for window shopping, to eat, to watch movies at the theater, or just to walk around. I believe that part of what influenced me to visit the mall is the way the mall is structured and built in order to attract people, which is proven in Wrigley's study back in 2002. This includes the way stores in malls position and display their products, and how certain stores are located in specific positions in the mall. After further studying and reflecting on my shopping behaviors, I also begin to realize that the reason I go to malls is for the social experience. Whatever the purpose is, either going to the mall to look around, to socialize, or to find entertainment, all these will eventually lead to shopping. To quote Wrigley's reading, shopping has become intensely entertaining, and this in turn encourages more shopping. Timothy also made the case in his reading that shopping is a multi-dimensional activity that includes engagement in non-purchasing activities, social interaction, and economic transaction. In addition, I also like to do online shopping, or more like window shopping online. It is something I do almost every day. This shopping behavior is partly due to the pandemic, where everyone had to be confined in their houses, influencing a change in our shopping experience. When online shopping, I usually browse for a new outfit, and I would choose brands that I've always thought to be suitable for my clothing style. I realize now that whatever style of outfit I buy seems to shape the image I want to project to the world. But is that really who I am? Or is it just a reflection of what society expects me to be? Social media actually plays a huge part in this, and it is what influences most of my choices when shopping for things. According to G. Mieriro and Huang's article in 2021, consumers are able to participate in and enjoy the interactive marketing process thanks to social media, which allows social media users to easily interact, to create and exchange content. I open my Instagram, I look at someone's outfit on their post, I got inspired, I open my Shopee app, and I browse for similar items and add them into my cart. What motivates to have this consumer behavior is because I wanted to seek information on social media, like what are the latest fashion trends and what brands that are suitable and affordable that also fits my style of outfit. Jones and Kang said that customers seeking for information is crucial as part of their decision-making process so that they can weigh their options. It was also said in a study conducted by a group of scholars early this year that the degree to which consumers adore the online shopping experience, and to a lesser extent, the individualized support they receive, greatly influences their attitudes and actions surrounding online purchase. After reflecting on this, I've become more conscious of how I shop. I begin to think about whether I really need to buy the item or if I'm just buying it because of its cultural appeal. Consumption is all around us. It's how we survive in this modern world. Reflecting on my habits in shopping, media, and food, as well as learning deeply about consumerism through my academic studies, have made me realize that consumption is far more complex than I ever imagined. I also realized that personal desires and choices are not the only factors that influence me. It's a whole process shaped by cultural, social, and media upbringing. Our choices are not always entirely free. Learning about this concept, especially through my academic studies, also made me more conscious and led me to think about my own choices when consuming things critically. By understanding this concept, I hope to approach consumption more wisely and responsibly after this. This is why I think it's important for us, because we are all consumers, and consumption is an inevitable part of modern life. Whether you're consuming through shopping, food, or entertainment, take a moment to reflect on what influences your choices and how you might engage with consumption in a more intentional way, just like how I did in this podcast today. If you have listened all the way through the end of this podcast, thank you so much for taking the time listening, and I hope you guys have enjoyed and gained a few valuable insights through this podcast. See you soon and have a good day.